to the Compliance Kitchen podcast. Today, I want to briefly take a look at a recent update to a guidance for preparing agreements under the ITAR. This is coming from the State Department's Directorate of Defense Trade Controls, and it's the first update to this guidance since 2016. Now, before we get into the guidance and guidelines, please note that what you hear on Compliance Kitchen is not legal advice and it should not be taken as such. Now, going into the guidelines, these were prepared by the State Department's Bureau of Political Military Affairs, the DTCL, which is the Office of Defense Trade Controls Licensing, and the Directorate of Defense Trade Controls. They are intended to serve as an aid in applying the ITAR and to give some clarity on the Defense Trade Controls licensing policy as it pertains to agreements of this nature, and to establish a standard basis for submission of these agreements and also related correspondence. Now, of course, should there be regulatory changes, these will trump and take precedence over these guidelines. So the guidance tells us that an agreement approved by the Defense Trade Controls Licensing Office is required for a U.S. person to provide a defense service to a foreign person, also an authorization to manufacture defense services abroad or to establish a distribution point abroad for defense articles of U.S. origin for subsequent distribution to foreign persons. So for any of these activities, an agreement that is approved by the Office of Defense Trade Controls Licensing is required for U.S. persons. The scope of an agreement may encompass a range of licensable activities, but the furnishing of a defense service, transfer of manufacturing know-how or production rights, or the establishment of a distribution point abroad to foreign persons is what distinguishes an agreement in this context from other forms of authorizations issued by the Office of Defense Trade Controls Licensing. There are three types of agreements. You have technical assistance agreements, manufacturing license agreements, and warehouse and distribution agreements. And ITAR section 120.21 to 23 give us definitions for each if you want to take a closer look at that. Now, as far as submission of these agreements, you will have the transmittal letter, which serves as an explanatory letter that provides an executive summary of the proposed agreement. It provides specific export and technical information as required by the ITAR and outlined in the guidelines that we're talking about, and is only for government use. Then there is the agreement itself, which is the part of the submission package that is signed by the applicant, all U.S. signatories, and also all foreign signatories, and serves as the mechanism for detailing the scope of the effort and the roles and responsibilities of each participant with regards to the U.S. munitions list, defense articles, including technical data, and defense services. This is the only part of the submission package that you can show to the foreign signatories, since it requires their signatures and approval. And then there are the addendums, attachments, and appendices. These may include statements of work, descriptions of technical data, hardware for export, sub-licensee lists, or other items that may be referenced in the agreement itself. These items are considered an integral part of the agreement and should be integrated with the agreement into a single document if possible. So if you need more guidance on these agreements and submission, the Directorate of Defense Trade Controls website has all that information. As far as activities that frequently require these specific agreements, these could be supporting direct commercial sales to foreign parties, providing overseas maintenance or training support, also technical studies, evaluations, demos, or consultations, again with foreign parties, release of manufacturing data or rights, efforts to import technology from abroad, or supporting foreign military sales case, supporting also U.S. government-sponsored foreign contracts. So those are some of the activities that would trigger these types of agreements. Again, if you would like to take a closer look at the requirements and the guidance itself, this is available on the State Department's website.